Recording started. Red dot confirmed.
Welcome back, Rohan. In the last part, we talked about Finland. It was very interesting. You talked about your travels, the lifestyle there, culture, and many more things. Let's pick up from there. Tell me about how's the work culture there? How do you see it being different from India?
Yes, thanks Ankush for inviting me again. And yeah, I mean the work culture is pretty different. It's not what uh, being from India one is used to. It's our work culture is pretty, of course, a lot more aggressive. Sometimes unnecessarily aggressive, I would say. Uh, Compared to that, here it's like they spend like 4.5 hours of deep work or work in which you get things done. But apart from that, of course, a lot of time is spent in different meetings and collaboration, and that is something I or my team is currently working on, because I work closely with Microsoft 365 technologies. So one of the biggest mottos of the current tool chain that we have is to make sure that we increase the productivity, and I'm working on a lot of those apps these days, how to make sure that we increase the productivity. So it's pretty much the same when it comes to productivity. Like even in India, I remember spending approximately 3 to 4 hours in which a lot of things were getting done. But apart from that, you end up spending a lot of time in a lot of, I would say, useless things. Some of those are really not needed, and then that is, but that's part and parcel of any industry, more so if you are a service, you're part of a service industry.
Like having
uh,
coffee with your colleagues? Is that
yes,
counted
and
as?
yes, I mean, to be precise, I remember going for lunch, and then after that going for a walk and stuff. I mean, I'm not saying it's, in fact, it's a great thing that you have enough time to do that, but sometimes you end up having long conversations there, and then you return by 3, and then of course uh, then another tea break or coffee break in the evening. So all in all, it takes a huge toll on your work life balance, I would say. Something I I mean, after coming here, I realized that people don't spend too much time. Of course, they go for lunch, but they'll be back within a half an hour. Yeah. And if you're working from home, a lot of those prefer to have those lunch balls at your desk. Um, so yeah, it's pretty different. Of course, the major differentiator is you end up spending a lot of time in traffic. So that also somewhere affects your efficiency, or then you basically end up spending 10-12 hours away from home. So yeah, it was actually a very nice change when a lot of companies decided to or had to put people back home and ask them to just do a hybrid way of working. But unfortunately, now I'm seeing a lot of these companies are again calling the employees back to office. Uh, but yeah, I mean, talking about work culture, it's pretty relaxed. Just like any other European country, Finland also has a lot more relaxed way of working.
So when you talked about traffic and being away from home, you were talking about India, right?
Yes.
How is it over there? Because last time you said that uh, there is no much traffic and the population density is very less. So I guess that work-life balance, that is a major factor. Like in cities in Bangalore or in Mumbai or in Pune to some extent, you get to see this a lot, that people do get stuck in traffic and they lose their valuable time that they could have uh, given to their family or themselves. Uh,
Yes.
I guess that's a pretty big differentiator, right?
It's a huge one. Here, even if someday I decide to go to office, luckily in my case or my team's case, we don't go to office too often, unless there is something for which we all have to be there.
Is this after COVID, like work from home kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, there was a poll conducted, what to do with this way of working, and then a lot of people then opted out for hybrid way of working. And within that, also, I think the leadership decided that maybe it should be up to teams how they want to work. So in my case, most of our team members were of the opinion that we should.
Uh, so people from different backgrounds, even mechanical, instrumentation, and whatnot, everyone can join software engineering. People from different background do work in software engineering. I mean to say, in information technology, IT, ops, and different related fields. So my question is, how difficult it is to deal with people from different backgrounds, because the teams are huge. There are many people and from different backgrounds, not just different cultures, but different academic backgrounds. So, uh, how is it? How difficult it is?
Well, specifically, what the difference that I can mention here is when we used to work, or we as in me and my wife, like we realized this that hey, I think the people in our team, they all had a similar background in terms of the training that they underwent, but compare that with here, like here it's not like you might come across as somebody who is proficient in say C sharp, writing an amazing code, building the entire application. But that person just started with this whole software development. He 2 years back he was doing something really different, like he was into stock market or doing something. So that's pretty common in this part of the world. Like unlike uh, me or my wife, we have been through and through C sharp, software development, and specifically in my case, SharePoint, Microsoft 365. But it's not the case with a lot of my colleagues here. They when we end up talking to them about their backgrounds, like I think 10 years back I was in Nokia doing something really different. It's not even related to technology. There was some handling some finance or something, and then hey, I think 2 years ago they realized that okay, I can do this, and then they just enter that field. So I think it's down to the education, that where they still have a lot of different options open. Of course, you'll not then reach the highs. Of course, there can be exceptions, but you can still, if you have a good foundation, whether it's mathematics, logic, problem solving, you can easily wear different hats. Like okay, I can do IT and software for 3 years, 4 years, and I can maybe then after a few years I can just do either, if I'm more technical, I can just take the architect route, or I can then just do product management, project management, or be doing something that is close to technology but not exactly writing the code. um, so yeah, I think in our part of the world it's very common that all of you will have a similar background. They all, like, you have C sharp developers, so everybody will be doing C sharp for the last like 4 5 years, 6 years. But here it's not the case. Like I have seen people doing different things at different stages of their life. Different as in completely different, not even being in IT.
Yeah, definitely. No, what I meant to ask you was particularly on the teams, because software engineering particularly has huge teams working on some difficult, complex projects, and communication between the teams, inside, outside, people skills, they often do become very important, and that kind of becomes a differentiating factor if you want to excel further up the ladder
Mm.
in the corporate world. So that, and with because you are now in Finland, uh, with people with multiple cultural backgrounds also, so academic and cultural backgrounds, how important do these skills, people skills, communication skills, being aware of the people around you, how much important it is in addition to the academics?
Again, it's really, I would say, if you want to just work in silos, and I mean, you can still get things done, and you can still contribute to the team, but you'll not, I would say, integrate well with the overall culture. So to do that, you of course need to have good people skill. You need to ask right questions, understand the backgrounds, that different backgrounds and different cultures that they belong to, and then accordingly, sometimes, I mean, it's not like conscious effort to change yourself, but it happens subconsciously that you also uh, see some changes happening within yourself, I mean positive, on the positive side. uh, and it's really important. It depends on what your goal is. If, say, certain people have, I mean, that's something you will find very common in Europe, that they don't have really ambitious goals for themselves, so they just want to get on with their lives after five. They don't have any leadership ambition, and that's very common here. Like, a lot of people have certain idea of their life, so they just want to contribute, of course, in the most effective manner, uh, between 10 to 4 or 8 to 4. And after that, yeah, they are good being developers, say, till the age of 50, 55. And that's not a bad thing for many, because I've met those 50, 55 plus guys who are pretty good in what they do, but they never had that. That's something that we don't really encourage in our part of the world. Like, we want to, you constantly want people to climb up the ladder. I mean, ladder as in the hierarchy, because we have a hierarchical based, I mean, our corporate world is really based on hierarchy. Like, you have a lot of hierarchy. The larger the organization, the bigger is the larger the hierarchy. So that's not the case here. So people are happy being wherever they are. But yeah, if you are highly ambitious, you want to climb up the ladder, there is enough opportunity here as well. And in that case, you have to be good at dealing with different cultures, different people. So what I see here is the people who are at the leadership level here, they are really good at that. Like, it's because they don't see being, say, a CEO is a, like, you need to know everything, but it's more of a people's manager. Like, you need to know how to manage. You need to
Okay.
focus on that part as well.
Okay. So, Rohan, thank you so much for being part of this discussion, for giving us your time. Thank you, audience, for joining. Again, as promised, we'll be talking to different people from different fields and working in different parts of the world. So, stay tuned. Thank you.